Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. It is Sunday, July 2nd. We are awaiting the rain delay in Chicago to see if whenever they get the cup race started. But nonetheless, we have some birthdays to celebrate today. We're going to go with, but first, our events. Looking at the calendar, July 4th is going to be full of a lot of events because the Pepsi Firecracker 400 was run on that day for so many years. Looked at the events, and they kind of hopscotched around a little bit. So let's start 1988 on this day. This is the first date that I can find that the 400 was not run on the 4th of July. Bill Elliott won that race in a photo finish. Not really a photo finish, but like 3 feet he beat Rick Wilson by. But I'm sure if you were there in person, it'd probably be difficult to discern who won. But obviously on camera, they picked it up really, really quickly. At the time, Elliott had come from the furthest back from a starting spot to win a cup race, 38th. At least in the modern era, I think Tim Flock might have won from 40th way, way, way back when. And you probably hear our cat Pepper meowing in the background. 1994 on this date, Jimmy Spencer wins his first career Cup Series race at Daytona in a close finish over Ernie Irvan. In 2010, in the Xfinity Nationwide, whatever it was called in 2010, Dale Jr. won at Daytona in that iconic number 3 car that was sponsored by Wrangler, and everybody was wanting him to drive the 3. And he said after that race he would never race a 3 car in NASCAR again. And then the following year, 2011, David Reagan, driving for Jack Roush, gets his first career Cup win at Daytona. So we got 3 birthdays to celebrate today. Born on this day in 1943. Former car owner. He was the car owner for Sterling Marlin's 1983 Rookie of the Year campaign. But also had a great, great many drivers over the years drive his cars. And they were mid-pack. They were kind of competitive. They'd get top 10s here and there. Mr. Roger Hamby. He may be in one of the Legends set, but I don't remember. I didn't see him listed on Trading Card Database, so I don't think he does. Born on this date, 1979, former IndyCar champion, former Indy 500 winner, as well as a runner-up for Cup Series Rookie of the Year and runner-up for Nationwide Series Championship. Mr. Sam Hornish Jr. So Sam did have a pretty decorated IndyCar career. Roger wanted to move him over, or maybe Sam wanted to come over to NASCAR for some reason. Ran the full Cup schedule in 2008 and 2009. Or was it 2007 and 2008? I think it was 2007 and 8. I really can't remember. It's been a long time, but I know he ran runner-up Rookie of the Year to Regan Smith. It was 2008. So anyway, with that being said, Hornish did run a couple years full-time for Penske. Then he moved to the Nationwide Series, where he'd run for Penske and I believe Joe Gibbs, a couple other teams here and there. So, yeah, Joe Gibbs Racing. So he had some success in the Xfinity Nationwide, whatever you want to call it. So had a few wins there. Runner-up in points to Austin Dillon. So he did good in the second tier series, just never got great footing in the Cup level. And, of course, our big birthday. And we're not going to spend a lot of time here because you've seen a lot of cards that I've pulled of this man. But born on this day in 1937, 7-time Cup champion, most career wins, most career pulls, most career just about everything, Mr. Richard Petty. So I've put these cards, the driver ones here, and eventually the ones that you'll see of the cars, in kind of a chronologic order of his career and not of the publication of the card. So obviously going way back to the early 50s. We're going to jump to the 70s here. Got his Fu Manchu going on. Of course, in the early 70s, he picked up STP sponsorship, which he would have for the balance of his driving career and for quite a long time as an owner. So this is going to be mid-70s there, probably that Dodge Charger. Got the mock Grand National scene cover there for his 200th win at Daytona. Oops, out of order there. 1982, his last Daytona 500 win. So we messed up there. 1992, Fan Appreciation. Actually, this picture's from 91 because that's his 92 uniform with the angled stripes and the Fan Appreciation logo, but always had that cowboy hat on. Then as an owner, continued with the cowboy hat. And just, you know, random looks there for Richard Petty. Now let's get to the cars real quick. We're going to start when he was with Ford back in the 70s. Petty blue, but no STP on the car. And we could have do a video all day long of the Food Line cards, because that's where a lot of pictures we're going to have. There's that famous Dodge Charger. Now we're going to move to the 80s there. There's Kyle Petty's car. Who else do we have in the background? Neil Bonnet, maybe that's Dale Earnhardt in the background, that yellow car, the Wrangler car. I'm trying to see. Oh, actually, it says Stacy on the hood, so it's probably going to be Ron Bouchard. But still, it's going to be Richmond early in the season. You see Petty ran the Dayglow Orange. Then in 83, he flipped it to his more normal look. And the only difference between this car, and if you really are looking for the difference between, and I didn't grab one, but the car that he ran in 84 and 85 for Curb is on the C post, it'll say Curb Records. They maintained a lot of their normal sponsorships there. 86, 87, he ran that 2+2, really bulky car. 88, 89, 90, they downsized to that. I don't want to say downsized, but it's like a more aerodynamic car. Then in 91, 92, he kind of ran the car that had that iconic stripe down the side. And, of course, his final race at Atlanta in 1992, he got in that crash. Who all was in that crash? Ken Schrader and several other drivers were in that crash. Rich Bickle, maybe. But very, very iconic moment in Richard Petty's career. So happy birthday to everybody today, celebrating birthdays. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe going to Circle City here in a little bit. We'll have to wait and see what the weather does, and maybe some more videos. But as always, thanks again for watching, and we will be back tomorrow morning with maybe another rip. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching.